There we go.
Oh, somebody's saying they can't get into the meeting.
It
Tammy
just started.
Christopher. I know, but what is she saying? Let me look on my phone.
Okay. Hi, James.
Good morning.
Good
Hello.
morning.
What is this person? Just keep sending me the registration page. I don't have a link for the actual meeting.
Okay, I can text it to you, Julian. You can send it to her, okay?
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
That's right, it
everybody.
is. Hey, James, how's everybody doing?
Great. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Ooh,
We're gonna wait like a
Dr.
minute for.
Milo's on. Okay. Dr. Clock. I'm being nosy, guys, because I can.
We're trying to be thoughtful and considerate, but also we have people that are, somebody's having an issue getting in. So.
We'll give
and
them a minute.
I'm not good at multitasking at this point, like with okay, sending that link up from a text and also.
So, okay, we'll
Hey,
give
John.
everyone a minute.
Yes, I'm in good. Oh, here it is. Okay. Let me send this.
It's Friday, Jolene. Relax.
I can't
Ugh.
hear anything.
Take a
Forward.
breath, Joe.
I can
Yeah.
mute yourself.
I have to do something. I have to take some breaths. All right. Let me see if I can send this.
I see another fox on. Are we related? I'm just being nosy.
I don't think so.
You positive?
No, I think we're of the New York Foxes.
Oh, hi, Alexander Fox.
Yeah.
Are any of you relatives from Scotland?
No, Russia. So probably I
okay.
stayed in Ellis Island.
Okay. I just thought I asked. I was just kind of being nosy.
Oh, no worries.
Jolene, when I try, can you just send the link to Tammy Christopher if possible? It's because I'm trying to copy it and I can't. It's Tammy Christopher at NBYM.
I'll send it.
Okay,
have her
fine.
email.
Okay.
I'll send it to her.
Okay. Once you send it, Kayla, we can start.
Okay. Get this thing going here. I just sent that over. And the nice thing is we are recording, so the folks who have missed this, and we do have another session next week as well. I'll give her 1 minute and then we'll get started. I love that we have some new faces here too. This is great.
You love that we have some new faces here, R2.
Everything is R2 with Jolene.
Everything is R2. All right, Kayla, I think you should start. She'll join in, and if she can't,
Right.
she'll let us know.
That sounds good to me. All right. R2D2. Thank you, Hunter. With that, good afternoon, everyone. I am Kayla Milligan, and I'm the president and CEO of the Community Foundation of Greater New Britain. And today I'm also joined by a few of our staff, Jolene Ruck, our Director of Community Initiatives, and Jolene Cuffey, who is our Communications and Development Officer. So we are honored to serve as the grant managers for the Social Equity Council's Reimagine and Revitalize Grant Program, better known as R2, maybe R2D2 from now on. There's Tammy. For those of you who don't know us, the Community Foundation of Greater New Britain is a grant maker and a partner that works alongside nonprofits to help strengthen and improve the quality of life for those who live and work in Greater New Britain. We support these organizations not only through funding, capacity building opportunities, but also with collaborative partnerships to help our nonprofits advance their missions. And now, as the New Britain region Reimagine and Revitalize grant managers, our goal today is to provide an overview of the R2 grant program, discussing the eligibility requirements, reviewing the funding priorities, explaining the application process, but mostly highlighting the key factors or considerations for your proposals. So what is the R2 Grant Program? As many of you know, Reimagine and Revitalize program is a community investment initiative that was established by the Connecticut Social Equity Council. This program is funded through the revenue generated from Connecticut's adult use cannabis market and is designed to reinvest resources into communities that historically have been disproportionately impacted by the war on drugs. So over the next 3 years, the Social Equity Council will invest approximately $36 million across 10 different regions throughout the state of Connecticut. And because New Britain was identified as one of those 10 disproportionately impacted areas, if I can just have one mute. Thank you. This is going to allow about $3.6 million to come to our community alone in New Britain. So the investment is intended to create long-term opportunities, strengthen local organizations, and support the economic growth and improve outcomes for residents in historically underserved communities. So with this, the R2 program focuses on 3 priority areas: economic development, re-entry initiatives for justice-impacted adults and youth initiatives. So the goal is to support community-based organizations that are implementing impactful, sustainable programs that will address the local needs and ultimately contribute to equitable economic prosperity. So what is our role here today? As the grant manager, the Community Foundation of Greater New Britain serves as a resource and an administrator for the funding opportunities. Some of the responsibilities we have are providing technical assistance and support to anyone who's applying, managing that application process, reviewing the applications, supporting the grant review, awarding the awarding process, and then also assisting the funded organizations with continued grant management, reporting, and compliance as it is a state grant. Our goal is to help ensure that applicants understand this opportunity, are able to submit incredibly strong applications, and also have any of the information that they need to be successful throughout the process. And I do want to note that while the Community Foundation is managing this process, those funding decisions are ultimately made in partnership and subject to the approval by the Social Equity Council. So today's presentation, we will cover the Notice of Funding Opportunity, or NOFO, as we will say quite often. It is a lot of information, so we do encourage you to take notes, and also please send any questions that you have in the chat. You'll see Jolene just posted the NOFO in the chat for you to follow along with, but we do have a dedicated time at the end for Q&A. So we want to do our best to answer all those questions at the end so that everyone who is here can benefit from that discussion. And then just Zoom, Microsoft Teams etiquette, if you would please keep yourself muted. And if you have a question throughout the presentation, please raise your hand and then we will unmute you if it's something very pressing, but we would hope that you can save some of those questions for the end. And that said, I will also ask for your patience and your grace, as this is our first time, not only with this presentation, but in this particular role as grant manager. So if there's anything that we don't immediately know the answers to, our team is also taking notes, and we will make sure to bring those to the Social Equity Council to ensure that everyone's questions are addressed. So thank you all for being here. And then with that, I will hand it over to Ms. Jolene Ruck, our Director of Grants and Initiatives, who will walk you through the NOFO.
Thanks, Kayla, and welcome everybody. Happy to see so many people on this call. And as Kayla mentioned, we really want to dedicate most of this meeting to you being able to ask and get questions answered. So I'm going to go through the NOFO and application and the addendum at a very high level, but I really encourage everybody to read all of this information in its entirety. And of course, if anything is not clear at any point, whether it's on this call or as you start putting your application together, we are a resource. You can reach out to us and we will get your questions answered promptly. Okay, so in terms of the NOFO itself, I want to focus on the eligibility piece. So before investing time in your application, make sure that your organization meets the eligibility requirements, which are in that section of the NOFO. You need to be a nonprofit organization. You need to be registered with the Connecticut Secretary of the State. You must have at least 3 years of experience providing programming aligned with your selected priority area. You must be located in and primarily serve the R2 region for which you are applying, which in this case is New Britain. So if you are an organization that is located outside of New Britain and you do serve New Britain, you have to document or certify that you are serving 90% are from New Britain. So that's something that's important. And you want to obviously focus on one of the 3 priority areas of either workforce development, reentry initiatives, or youth initiatives. You'll also see that applicants should select one priority area that best aligns with their proposed project. And obviously your narrative, goals, activities, outcomes, and the budget should all support that selected priority. The funding tier section. So you are to select the funding tier that best matches your organization's capacity, but note that the application does ask you to explain why your organization can successfully manage that funding level, and reviewers will consider organizational capacity and not just the need. Note that question, well, we'll get to it in the application, but so I'll, that you are asked that if you're not considered for that funding level, what level would you be considered at? So just, that's on the application, but make sure you pay close attention. In terms of eligible and ineligible costs, they listed pretty clearly. I don't think I'm going to run through each of them, but if anybody has any questions, you can ask about them. Administrative costs are limited, and budget should clearly support direct program implementation. Note that the deadline is the July 15th at 5 p.m. via email only. They must be submitted to the email that's on the in the document, which is r2initiative@cfgnb.org. Unfortunately, we are unable to extend the deadline or consider anything that comes in late. So I encourage you also, don't wait till the last day or, I don't know, 4:45 or anything. Get it in as soon as you can and make sure that you follow those rules, because we don't have any way of making any exceptions, being flexible. Okay, so on the fillable application that is provided, there is noting number 4, that if you are not chosen for your first tier level choice, let us know the another tier that you can operate with. For certifications, pay particular attention to the certification regarding serving 90 to 100% from the target region, which is New Britain. And just review all of your certifications before signing. I have to say, we had to actually apply to be the program manager. So we had to do all of this too. And it was like, really had to make sure that we had everything all lined up. So I encourage all of you to do that as well. Now, if you are applying through a fiscal sponsor, just make note of the requirement here. If you do check yes, you've got to provide the fiscal sponsor's legal information and a signed fiscal sponsorship agreement. And so, and also the grant manager cannot be the fiscal sponsor for any R2 applicant. I don't know that we are the fiscal sponsor for any organizations that would qualify. So, but just make note of the requirements for a fiscal sponsor. Okay. For programmatic data that is in the application, once you get to the pages that have lots of checkboxes, you don't have to fill in everything. Just select those that apply. All right. Review all of the mandatory attachments, and for a year for 2-year audits, a review is okay. So if you don't have a full audit, but you do have a review, that's okay. Oh, I went a little bit out of order. I'm sorry. Yes. So for the programmatic data, again, just select those that you can realistically collect and support. You don't have to do it all. Don't overcommit yourself by selecting measures that your organization can't track. All right, I'm going to, the rest of it, the questions are pretty clear. I'm not going to go through each of the questions. Do note that on, for section 6, for shovel-ready projects, the project does need to be complete within the 3 years. And it also does have to also have been approved by the municipality and whoever else has to approve those things. Okay. Now I'm just going to, oh, and one last thing, I'm so sorry. On section 7 for the budget, just note, when you're providing your budget, in that line, it's the 3-year total, because organizations that receive an award, the award that you're gonna hopefully receive this year, it's for all 3 years. I'm just going to tell you what is in the addendum. I encourage you again to review all of them. So addendum 1, which is the program priorities, this provides all of the examples within each category. Note that it is not an exhaustive list. The council is really clear that they want people to be creative as well. So just because something isn't on the list does not mean that you can't apply for it. So, and like, for example, when somebody had already asked for youth, what's the age range? They purposely didn't specify that. You get to specify that. Applicants should use these examples, as I mentioned, and just focus on explaining how your project advances the selected priority area, just like you would do with any grant application. But I do encourage you to review them all. For addendum 2, the special conditions, make note that award recipients will be required to participate in onboarding training, which is spelled out in here, and it looks pretty good. So we're really pleased they added that in. There are also required capacity building. Oh, I just said that. I'm so sorry. So you'll have onboarding training, and then there are required capacity building trainings that they will provide, which look good, like I just said. And completion of these trainings is part of the grant requirements. So when you sign on, you're signing on to that. And organizations should ensure that they have the staff capacity to participate. Addendum 3 reviews the reporting requirements. Note that there are significant expectations, and you should be considering that before applying. Hold on one sec. There will be monthly financial reports that your organization will be required to submit. Quarterly program reports will be required, obviously annual reports, and you'll be participating in site visits, which will be annually or as required. And reported data must be supported by documentation. So obviously developing a strong data collection plan now will make grant management easier down the road. Addendum 4 is all of the submission requirements. I'm not going to review all of them. They spell them out for you, and we can discuss if anybody has any questions. And then addendum 5 is simply the award notification and then the post-award requirements. So before we move into the Q&A, I just want to mention, again, Kayla mentioned it, this meeting is being recorded. It will be on our website. And we are also going to be compiling questions and answers, not only from this session, but others, some of the other grant managers. So that will be on our website also. So, check frequently or, as you see fit to see if any of that has been updated. We encourage, that anything that you need answered, you can reach out to us. And our goal is just to ensure that all applicants have equal access to the same information and that any clarifications provided are shared broadly with everyone, which is why we want to have the Q&A be the major focus. So at this point, we are going to open the floor for questions. I don't remember how we're doing this exactly, but I know Kayla would tell me. I know people are going to be raising their hand. John Davis, oh, I didn't see that. Okay, so the ones that are in the box, how are we doing this? Are we gonna have people?
We'll start by
raise their-
addressing the ones that are in the chat. And then
Okay.
as people have questions, please raise your hand or throw them in the chat and we'll just keep the discussion going.
Okay, so
Thank
Jolene, would you mind asking the question and then Kayla or I will answer?
Yes. So John Davis said, can you explain shovel ready project? It
Ooh.
is listed initial caps as if it is a formal name of a type of program. I understand from our CIF applications that it just means that the project is ready to go.
I believe it's the latter, but I don't know the answer to, Kayla, do you know the answer to that question? Oh,
We'll get in touch with SEC to make sure. We'll get
okay,
back to you, John.
we'll get back to you, everybody, John, okay.
Okay, and
So-
then he has a few more questions. Letters of support from any particular group or demographic.
No, actually, this came up on another R2 call. It can be a letter of support from any organization. Well, I would say it should be an organization versus an individual that can advance, speaking to the fidelity of you and your program, your, and administration, but they don't specify. Does that answer your question? Okay.
And what is a realistic percentage of admin?
I believe it's 10%, Kayla. Was that, it's spelled out in the budget addendum. But I believe it is 10%.
Yeah, so section 7 says budget attachments and certifications. The administrative costs may not exceed 10% of the total award. I don't know if you consider that realistic, but that is what the limit is.
Okay. I shall already, oh, I think that Hunter was answering that question. Can you say what he said?
Yes.
Maybe
He
I'll-
said a shovel-ready project in Connecticut refers to a construction project that has completed all necessary planning, permitting, and environmental reviews, allowing it to begin construction quickly once funding is secured.
Yeah, I know that they, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna look more into this for John, but yeah, I believe that is correct.
And Paula, you could go ahead and unmute yourself and ask the question.
Yes, and if people are in a partnership, like you got 3 or 4 agencies in a partnership, do all of the partners have to attend the mandatory training,
Ooh,
or
that's a
just
great
the
question.
lead, or just the lead applicant?
I'm gonna have to find that out. But that's an excellent question. So the mandatory training, lead or and partners. Okay. Now, when you say, when you say partners, because there also might be subcontractors too, so I will clarify that as well, because some organizations might be subcontracting. Okay,
I would include them too, Jolene.
yeah, I'll ask that question. And I'll
Thank you.
get back to you. Yep. Oh, the library has a question.
Go ahead.
Hi,
Hi, library.
hey Joey, so I know that the orgs can only apply for one. So like say the library is a lead org for the youth, like we're gonna do one. But can we then be a partner or a subcontractor in someone else's, like in reentry? Like,
Right,
or
so somebody asked that question. Let's see if this is the right question. Can an organization serve as both a lead applicant on one proposal and a subcontractor vendor on another proposal? Is that the question? Golly, I'm glad. Yes, but see above. How many applications is the vendor going to coincide on? Is it another CBO? Huh. Okay, yes, you can. As a subcontractor, they would have to be a small portion of the budget.
Yep.
Does that answer the question?
Yeah, so we basically can, but you can't be a big part of
Right.
the person who's applying, yeah.
Does anybody else have a question right now? Somebody
Yeah,
else,
so
oh, go ahead, I'm sorry. The
Um,
addendums are on, Carol Hall asked, where are the addendums? They are all on our website.
mhm, which I
Uh,
could link it. I can link
Yeah,
them right.
put that in there, please.
And Monica said, for organizations that serve more than one qualifying districts, is there information on how to manage or merge the proposals for funding?
Unfortunately, and tell me if I'm wrong, Kayla, it's per region. So you would have to prepare, and you're allowed to, you can apply for more than one region, but you can't have, because that would be way too efficient. Oh, this is being recorded, sorry. You can't, you have to do a separate proposal for each region. But you are allowed to apply to more than one region. But within your region, you can only apply for one project.
Okay, somebody had a question regarding fund restrictions. Can funds be used for a lease agreement?
For a lease what?
Agreement.
Ooh, let's look at the funding restrictions. So the following is non-exhaustive list of costs that cannot be supported. Loan fund, like creating or replenishing, lobbying, payment of taxes, subsidizing a business, refinancing or restructuring existing debt, relocation of a business, personal loans, fundraising events, research and development. And there's more on that. You can look in the addendum. Political campaigns, fines or penalties, out of state travel. So does that answer the question?
Doesn't explicitly say lease. Well, let's ask Marty. We'll
Okay.
ask the Social Equity Council on that for a specific answer.
And who asked that question? So I make sure to get back. Monica? Wait,
No, it just says Rev J. So I'm not sure who exactly that is.
Rev J, who are you? Okay, so we're finding out, can you fund leases?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. Reverend John East, Senior Pastor, Solid Rock Spiritual Center
Oh,
in New
okay.
Britain.
Got it.
And I did go over the funding
Okay.
package, and it never mentions anything about
And
using it for lease or
can
for.
you specify like leasing?
So yes, there's a property in New Britain that I'm trying to actually purchase from the Catholic how you say archdiocese.
Uh-huh.
But if we don't have the funds to purchase it, can I lease it? So I applied for funding before, and basically in our budget package, we put $5,000 a month. And I understand you guys have 10% cap on administrative costs. Would that fall under administrative costs or not? Thank you for taking my question.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'll find out. Thanks for the question.
Okay, and then we have two from John Davis. So the first one is regarding priorities. Funds also may be used to repair or make limited renovations to properties owned by not-profit organizations. Is there an understanding as to what the priorities of the council are in this regards? It seems easiest to focus on this section, the first priority.
I don't know. I want to see that.
It's right in the chat.
Yeah, I see it. I mean, it doesn't say that you can't do renovations. So I think we're gonna have to, I want to give you the right answer, so I'm gonna have to find out about that.
And then he asked another question. What are your thoughts about us requesting funding for the installation of a $100,000 to $150,000 cost for a fire sprinkler system in one of our programs to allow a higher level of care through the state and Medicare approved programs?
You know, unfortunately, we cannot tell you like what our thoughts are and stuff, and I'm not trying to dodge the question, but honestly, we don't know how they are going to review things. I would say if that you can make a case for that as it relates to their program priorities and what they're trying to do, go for it. You're going to have to use your judgment and or the judgment of, you know, your people, your board, etc. on that. I'm sorry, I can't give you a definitive answer. Be one thing if we knew, like it was our community response grants, but we just can't. Sorry.
And then Dr. Marlowe has a question. You can go ahead and unmute yourself, Marlowe, to ask.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. My question is concerning technological upgrades. And would technological upgrades of software and hardware systems that would be utilized for the direct implementation of a new program be considered as a direct expense, or would that have to be considered as administrative costs to the project?
Okay. I will get an answer for that for you. Just so you know, for the session on the 17th, somebody from the council will be on that call, but as far as we know, so you're welcome to come back, but I'm going to get these questions answered before that.
Okay, and then there's another question in the chat from Alexander Fox. I have a quick eligibility question regarding the third criterion. Organizations that are located in and providing services in the region. Columbus House is headquartered in New Haven. However, the program for which we would be seeking funding operates in New Britain and serves New Britain residents. Would this program meet the eligibility requirement despite our organization's main office being located outside the R2 region?
Kayla, I'm going to let you answer this one.
This one, we will need clarification from the SEC as well. This has been a question that we've had too.
But I do think that, yes, we will have to clarify, but if 90% of your residents are from New Britain, are 90% of your residents from New Britain?
In the program or for the organization as a whole?
We're gonna have to find that out. So the program you're applying for happens in New Britain,
Yes,
and 90% of them are from New Britain,
yes,
and you are based in New Haven.
yes.
Okay, I will find out for you.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Okay, Kayla, is there anything else we want to add?
I have a question. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I've been
Hi,
raising my hand.
Jennifer.
Hi, how are you? I'm from VetFuel.
Oh, nice. Hi, VetFuel.
Can this grant be used for federal clemency applications for Connecticut, as well as state pardons? Because we do a lot of work with veterans and pardons in the complex criminal history, often inundated by arrest on the state and federal level.
Yeah. So federal clemency applications for pardons, and what did you say, state?
For state
said
residents as well as pardons.
Okay.
So it'd be the application and then the state pardons.
I'm gonna have to find out for you. Are 90% of the people in that program from New Britain? That's the only thing. We're familiar with this program. We funded it. It's wonderful. Are 90% from New Britain?
Yeah, I don't have that information. I would have to get that from.
That would be critical to find out. I'll still, I think that's the most critical. And Kayla, tell me if you think I'm incorrect. Otherwise, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't. Well, maybe because it's a clemency thing, but
Yeah, I think their number one priority is first location because they've been very
hammering that,
serious about,
hammering. Mhm.
exactly. They want to make sure that it is benefiting New Britain residents. So to Jolene's point, if you can get that question answered, we will continue to look into this as well, but thank you.
I have one more question.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Does this
No,
grant
don't be
allow-
sorry.
Thank you. Does this grant
That's why
allow for physician veterans with no home address?
Ooh. That sounds like a Drew question to me, right?
It
All right, so
absolutely does.
So does the submission, say it one more time,
Does this
allow for
Physician
service to veterans?
with no home address.
Okay. But then how would you know that they're from New Britain? But I'll find out. I'll find out. Excellent question. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Marlowe has another question. You can go ahead.
Yeah.
Hello again.
Hi, Marlo.
So I'm wondering about direct payment assistance. If the grant will permit direct payment assistance to support participants in achieving their goals. And then also if it would support incentives, again, to support participants in achieving their goals, particularly cash incentives. Will it allow those if, say, for example, if it were a savings goal program under economic development, would it permit cash incentives to the participants under strict guidelines, of course?
And then also other than cash incentives, like gift cards for, so just incentives overall.
Yes, please ask about incentives overall, of course, but
Yeah,
cash,
and then the cash
incentives,
ones, like
which
as
are
part
different, right?
Right.
So this would be like a deposit to their bank account, for example.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, and Paulette, you can go ahead.
Thank you. I just have another question based on what people are talking about. If you look at pages 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, when you're looking at collecting data, and would this help some of the people on the call, including myself, kind of know what they're looking for and answering some of the questions that they're talking about? Because I'm looking at economic development and some of the indicators, the stuff that they want, may help us to answer, like the question that the guy had on the lease, right? I'm just thinking in terms of, and I'm gonna use myself, if I'm working with youth, right? Looking at my rent or lease or stuff like that, that to me is a direct service to provide the training, is I need a place to have the youth come. So I don't know if 16, 17, because at the meeting, they really said, the data is going to be critical. And are they kind of giving us an upper hand on what they're looking for in the collection of the data? Will that help to answer some of the questions that some of the people are asking? Because you can't answer, you can't do the data if it's not in your grant. Does that make sense, guys? I'm just being the devil's advocate.
That does make sense.
Thank you.
And we'll still
Can I
get
share
these-
something on that?
Of course.
Can I share something on that? Because it does make sense. However, there are instances where outcomes are included as something that is captured, where the expectation is that the service provider is coordinating access to that resource for the participant. So it's not always that they will support it financially directly, but that you might be implementing a project that's going to link the person to this resource that's paid for by another source. And then you're recording that as something that has been completed. So it could be on either side of the coin there, Paulette.
Yeah.
I guess for me, Marlo, like based on some of the questions, right? And you guys know, y'all all write grants and all that. It would seem like some of the questions that's being asked, as I was at the first meeting, and a lot of you were, that they were very adamant and adamant about the data and making sure that you were in compliance with whatever you did. And looking at pages 16 through 20, it may help answer some of the questions or concerns that people have. And I think, again, if you're new at this or you're looking at partnering, it kind of helps, in my opinion, in organizing partnerships. It kind of spells out what people do. It may be a good, I'm a detailed kind of person. It may be a good conversation piece to have as people are looking at who they want to include in partnerships. Is it a need for this? Is it a duplication? So I think those sheets are very valuable and looking at what you want to do. That's just doing this work for 42 years. Hey, it looks like a lot of people are asking similar questions about the areas. And as we know, it's new, but I think they kind of gave us the benefit of the doubt with 16 through 20. That's all I'm saying.
Mm. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Paulette. And something like sometimes going through that, you know, then that's where the question comes up or the answer. We will still ask them. Yeah. The library and the youth museum share the same 501c3. Ooh, do we have to submit an application together if we both want to apply? That is an excellent question. And that's because of the institute, right? Because they're going to want to understand. Tammy is asking this question. They're going to want to understand why that even exists. So Tammy, can you, after this call, email me? I'm taking a picture of the thing so I don't, although I know we probably have all these questions in some transcript that's in the sky.
Yeah, I have the question.
Okay. But Tammy, can you give me, just email me separately, like just a something that you tell people about the Institute because it's so unique, like, so I can include that.
Okay, I just want to, John Davis has been waiting. His question said, our program is located in New Britain and we provide housing in New Britain. However, our clients come from around Connecticut, but once they get to us, they become residents of New Britain. Does that allow us to qualify?
I would think so. Because they are then a resident of New Britain. Kayla, do you feel differently about that? I mean, as long as you can indicate and certify that that is the case, I don't know that it matters where they came from.
I would agree. They are now residents of New Britain if they're in your program.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then Reverend John has a question. You can go ahead and ask that.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can answer it. It's probably not ethical, but our Fresh Start program pretty much covers all three of your programming. So we're developed a reentry, a workforce development, and a young adult initiative for at-risk young adults. We are partnering and trying to work with 5 different regions, 2 workforce development, 5 community colleges. So each region will, of course, recruit in their own region. So for us, our home office is New Britain. We only will have 100% of our clients from New Britain, but all the other regions will recruit from their regions.
Mhm.
Reading the information, I'm not certain how to apply. I know I have to apply to all 5, but you guys say I have to choose one program. And since our Fresh Start program actually utilizes or try to implement all 3, how would that work?
I think that if you on the NOFO on page 8, you know, I think that you have to determine, you know, what is the ultimate goal of your of your program? Is it workforce development, even though it might work with youth? Is it youth development or is it reentry? And then you have to pick. This is what they are saying. And that might be different per each region that you apply for.
Okay.
You know,
So
like,
it's real. It developed as a reentry program, but it was for adults, and then we kind of
yeah, and that might have workforce components to it. But if the
yes.
overarching goal is reentry focused, then that's your focus because everything that you do which may be a lot of, you know, you may be working with fathers in the program who have children as, you know, so I think it's the main focus of your program.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
Do we have any other questions? Well, thank you all so much. We really appreciate it. I will tell you, we have not stopped asking questions either. So this isn't anything new, and we will get back to you as soon as we hear from you, or when we hear from SEC. But also, as Jolene mentioned, one of the representatives should be here for the next information session as well. So if that's of interest to you, I will say she will likely have to go back and ask the team some questions after you ask the questions too. But appreciate it because it gives us a lot of food for thought. Appreciate that there might be some selection committee members on this call as well, just listening through and hearing your questions as well, which will help inform us as we make our recommendations to the SEC. So with that, please, we'll keep you in the loop. We will be posting the FAQ once we receive all the information that has been gathered from the other information sessions around the state as well. And reach out to us as a resource. We want to help you with those strong applications and help you all to garner this support. $1.2 million per year for the city of New Britain is no small feat. So thank you all, and wishing you the best of luck, and tell us how we can be helpful.
And I just want to say one more thing. The answers to these questions, we will send to everybody on this call, just so you know.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
Have
you
a
all.
great
Take care. Yes, have a nice weekend.